Tonight, a follow-up to a story the Target 12 investigators have been tracking for months. A city director who negotiated a deal to lease a building before the project went out to bid.
As we reported last night, city official Brian Hull resigned on Friday. Now we're told the feds are looking into what happened.
Target 12 investigator Steph Machado is here now with what she's learned.
We now know at least 2 people have been interviewed as part of the federal review of the lease deal that raised questions just months before Brian Hull resigned.
This is what we don't need.
City Council Finance Chairman John Igliozzi says a federal agent from the Department of Labor's Office of the Inspector General called him several weeks ago to ask about the lease deal conducted by Brian Hull last year.
They negotiated this thing months in advance before it was ever put out to bid.
Hull was the city's director of economic opportunity until he resigned last week, and also headed up the Workforce Solutions Board of Providence and Cranston, a federally funded program based in this building on Reservoir Avenue. But last year, he wanted to relocate it to this building on Broadway, even signing a letter of intent for a multi-million-dollar lease with the landlord in October. City and state law requires projects valued at more than $5,000 to go out to public bid.
You cannot do those kinds of things with federal dollars, and that's why the special agent from the Inspector General's Office of Racketeering and Fraud is investigating this matter.
Igliozzi says he sat for an interview with the agent, and the mayor's press secretary confirms a city employee has also been interviewed by the feds. In internal city messages about the deal obtained by Target 12, Hull wrote to a group of city staffers on November 8th, "I'm nervous that the whole antiquated procurement process is going to make this much more difficult than it needs to be." A purchasing director wrote the following week, "I also have some concerns that this process of identifying a space should have gone formally through the RFP process. It was then put through that process in December, and the Broadway building was the sole bidder, but the project was yanked amid questions about how it came about." Hull was placed on leave by the city in February, but was allowed to return to work. He resigned on Friday. And our attempts to reach Hull for comment have been unsuccessful. We asked a spokesperson for the Department of Labor Office of Inspector General for comment on the scope of the probe. They said they do not confirm or deny ongoing investigations. With the Target 12 investigators, Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.